Good day, sir. For our activity about the proslogion, our question is that how can God be considered truly omnipotent if he cannot do logical contradictory actions such as lying or changing the past? For our answer, God's omnipotence is defined by his ability to do all things that are logically possible and consistent with his nature, which excludes actions estimated from powerlessness or imperfection.
Supporting statements from the text. Therefore, O Lord, you are more truly omnipotent because you are not at all powerful through powerlessness, and because nothing is powerful over you.
Okay, so for my supporting ideas, this was from the Proslogion, and it goes like, for truly you are supremely able to perceive in the sense that you know supremely all things. And my explanation for this is that it supports the idea that God's omnipotence includes perfect knowledge and perception, and it affirms his supreme power and capability to act according to his nature of ultimate goodness.
For my supporting point, you are what you are because whatever you once or in any respect are, this is your always and as a whole. This support the this supports the concept that God's nature and existence are unchanging and consistent, reinforcing the idea that true omnipotence aligns with an unalterable, perfect good nature.
God's omnipotence includes actions aligned with ultimate goodness and truth, excluding logical contradictions like lying. Explanation supporting this, God's omnipotence defined by his perfect power aligned with ultimate goodness and truth, ensuring actions reflect his nature without contradiction, such as falsehood or moral compromise.
Personal experiences. I believe reflecting on a moral dilemma, I realized that the true strength lies in the steadfast adherence to the principles of integrity and truth.
Okay, so for my personal experience, when I am faced with a challenge that seems to be impossible, I find it that relying on ethical consistency rather than attempting to bend the truth would lead to a more satisfactory resolution for me.
For my personal experience, in moments of decision making, choosing the act in ways that align my core values had always led to a deeper peace and fulfillment.
In relating to this, I experienced like fighting for justice, like we have the right to do this and that.
My valid objections or clear counterexamples. Well, if God cannot perform logically contradictory actions, how can he be considered truly omnipotent?
Okay, so for the valid objections or the clear counterexamples I have from the argument that God is omnipotent is that it seems that he has the inability or the inability to change the past or lie seems to be limiting God's power.
For my objections, omnipotence should logically include the ability to do everything, including logical contradictions.
If God cannot perform logical contradictions, does this limit his power to truly encompass all possibilities?
My sound response to the valid objections would be true omnipotence is not about performing contradictions, but about possessing perfect power that aligns with the nature of ultimate goodness and truth.
Okay, so for my response to the valid objections I had about what seems to be God's limitations that he is not able to lie or change the past is that limiting God to actions consistent with his nature preserves the integrity of his omnipotence, as real power does not entail to self contradiction.
It's because omnipotence understands as boundless power does not necessitate the inclusion of logical impossibilities, which are not true powers but contradictions.
God's omnipotence is defined by doing what is logically possible, aligned with His perfect nature.
In regards to an example to that, a judge who cannot be bribed exemplifies true justice, showing strength through incorruptibility.
Okay, so for my examples illustrating the answer I was able to provide earlier, um, probably a mathematician who adheres to the logical foundations of mathematics, demonstrating the intellectual integrity not by defying logic but by working within within its bounds.
Example, a person who refuses to lie even under pressure showcases more strength by maintaining truthfulness, which aligns with ethical consistency.
A judge who upholds justice without compromise exemplifies strength through moral integrity.
Okay, so conclusion overall is that true omnipotence encompasses perfect power that is inherently aligned with ultimate goodness, truth, and consistency, rather than including logically contradictory actions.
My insights towards this is that omnipotence is best understood as the ability to do all things that are logically possible and consistent with the nature of ultimate goodness.
Okay, so conclusion overall is that true omnipotence encompasses perfect power that is inherently aligned with ultimate goodness, truth, and consistency, rather than including logically contradictory actions.
For my own insights, real strength and omnipotence are defined by the capacity to act in ways that are consistent with one's highest nature and principles.
True omnipotence combines limitless power with perfect alignment to moral and logical consistency.